Ah, welcome back, you beautiful disasters, you glorious traitors to mediocrity, you selfish, unrepentant, magnificently misunderstood architects of your own salvation. They called you selfish, didn't they? Oh, they said it with venom in their voice, said it like a diagnosis, like a crime, like the worst thing you could possibly be in this world of endless sacrifice and performative nobility. They watched you walk away from the table, watched you stop pouring from an empty cup, watched you choose yourself for once in your damn life, and they screamed selfish like it was a curse, like it was proof you were broken, proof you didn't care, proof you were the villain in their carefully scripted tragedy. But here's what they didn't see. Here's what their limited, desperate, parasitic little minds couldn't comprehend. When you walked away, when you chose yourself, when you said no more, not today, not ever again, you didn't just save yourself. You saved everyone. You saved the bloodline. You saved generations that don't even exist yet. You saved children who haven't been born from inheriting your trauma, your silence, your self-betrayal. You broke the cycle, and they hate you for it. Let's start with the accusation, shall we? Selfish. They threw that word at you like a grenade, hoping it would detonate your resolve, hoping it would send you crawling back, apologizing, shrinking, begging for another chance to bleed for them. They needed you to believe that putting yourself first was a sin, that protecting your energy was cruelty, that choosing your peace over their chaos made you the monster. Because if you stayed guilty, if you stayed ashamed, if you stayed small, then they could keep feeding off you. They could keep draining you. They could keep using your love, your loyalty, your endless capacity to forgive as their personal fuel source. But you didn't stay. You didn't apologize. You didn't shrink. You looked at that word, selfish, and you smiled. Because deep down, beneath all the guilt they programmed into you, beneath all the conditioning that told you your worth was measured by how much you could endure, you knew the truth. Choosing yourself wasn't selfish. It was survival. It was revolution. It was the most selfless thing you ever did. You see, they don't tell you this part when they're guilt-tripping you into staying, when they're painting you as the bad guy for having boundaries, when they're sobbing about how you abandoned them. They don't tell you that every time you said yes when you meant no, every time you smiled through the pain, every time you sacrificed your truth to keep their peace, you were teaching everyone around you how to do the same. You were writing the script for your children, your siblings, your friends, everyone who looked to you as the example. You were showing them that love means suffering, that loyalty means silence, that family means swallowing poison with a smile. You were coding the next generation with the same virus that nearly destroyed you. And the moment you walked away, the moment you chose yourself, you shattered that blueprint. You rewrote the code. You became the glitch in their generational curse. And now everyone who comes after you has a choice they never had before. Because you showed them it's possible to leave, possible to heal, possible to choose yourself and survive. They wanted you to believe that your selfishness would destroy the family, would break the bloodline, would leave everyone abandoned and ruined. But the opposite happened, didn't it? The moment you left, the moment you stopped playing the role of the eternal martyr, the eternal fixer, the eternal emotional punching bag, something shifted. The people who actually loved you, the ones who weren't just using you, they started waking up. They started questioning. They started asking themselves why they accepted so little, why they tolerated so much, why they believed love had to hurt this badly. Your absence became a mirror. Your boundary became a blueprint. Your selfishness became their salvation, because you didn't just save yourself when you walked away. You saved every single person in your bloodline who was brave enough to follow your lead. You became the ancestor they'll whisper about in 100 years. The one who broke the chains. The one who said enough. The one who chose freedom over approval and survived. Now let's talk about what really happened when you made that choice. When you finally said no. When you finally put yourself first. They panicked, didn't they? The ones who called you selfish. The ones who guilted you. The ones who made you feel like a criminal for wanting peace. They didn't panic because they lost you. They panicked because they lost control. You were the glue holding together their dysfunction. The shock absorber for their chaos. The scapegoat for their failures. And when you removed yourself, when you stopped playing that role, the whole house of cards started collapsing. Suddenly they had to face themselves. Suddenly they had to take responsibility. Suddenly they couldn't blame you anymore for everything that was broken in their lives. And that terrified them more than anything. Because as long as you were there, absorbing the impact, they never had to change. They never had to grow. They never had to look in the mirror and ask themselves why everyone who truly loves them eventually has to leave to survive. Here's the part that makes you a legend, that makes your choice not selfish but sacred. You didn't just walk away for you. You walked away for the little girl inside you who never got to say no. For the version of yourself that believed love meant pain. For every moment you stayed silent when you should have screamed. You walked away for your future children, so they never have to learn that their worth is measured by how much they can endure. So they never have to choose between their peace and someone else's comfort. You walked away for your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather, all the ancestors who never got the chance to break free, who died carrying the weight you just put down. You walked away for the bloodline itself. For the soul contract that said, someone in this family has to stop the madness, has to end the cycle, has to be brave enough to be called selfish, so everyone else can be free. And you were the one. You were chosen by pain, by betrayal, by exhaustion to be the circuit breaker, and you didn't flinch. They thought your selfishness would make you alone, would leave you isolated, would prove you were wrong. But look at you now. Look at who stayed. Look at who showed up when you stopped performing, when you stopped pretending, when you stopped being who they needed you to be and started being who you actually are. The real ones, the ones who loved you for you and not for what you could do for them. They're still here. They didn't leave when you set boundaries. They didn't run when you chose yourself. They celebrated it. They respected it. They loved you harder because you finally loved yourself enough to demand better. And the ones who left, the ones who called you selfish and walked away, they weren't your people anyway. They were energy vampires wearing family faces, manipulators disguised as loved ones, parasites pretending to be partners. And you just performed the most powerful exorcism of your life. You cast out everyone who only loved the version of you that suffered in silence. Now we descend into the truth they'll never admit, the truth that haunts them in the quiet moments when they're alone with their thoughts. They needed you broken. They needed you guilty. They needed you believing that your pain was love, that your sacrifice was duty, that your silence was strength. Because the moment you woke up, The moment you realized you deserved better, the moment you chose yourself, you became dangerous. You became a threat to every toxic system they built, every manipulation they perfected, every lie they told themselves to justify using you. Your selfishness wasn't cruelty. It was clarity. It was the moment you stopped playing their game and started writing your own rules. And that is unforgivable to people who need you powerless to feel powerful themselves. So they called you selfish, hoping the word would wound you enough to come crawling back. But you didn't crawl. You didn't beg. You didn't apologize for wanting to breathe. You just walked. And every step you took away from them was a step towards saving yourself and everyone who comes after you. Let's go deeper into what you actually saved when you chose yourself. You saved your health, your sanity, the light in your eyes that was dimming a little more every day you stayed. You saved your future relationships from being poisoned by the trauma you were accumulating, from being sabotaged by the belief that love always hurts, that loyalty always costs, that connection always requires you to bleed. You saved your children, born or unborn, from growing up watching you disappear into someone else's expectations, from learning that their needs don't matter, from inheriting the silent scream you carried for years. You saved your creativity, your dreams, your voice, all the parts of you that were dying in the noise of their demands. You saved your soul from becoming a ghost, from becoming so small and quiet and apologetic that you forgot you were ever meant to take up space, to shine, to roar. They wanted you to stay drowning so they wouldn't have to face the fact that they were the ocean. They wanted you to keep suffering so your pain could distract from theirs. They wanted you broken because your brokenness made them feel whole, made them feel needed, made them feel like heroes for tolerating you. But you didn't stay broken. You became the villain in their story, the selfish one, the ungrateful one, the one who threw it all away. And you know what? You earned that title. You earned it by refusing to die for people who wouldn't live for you. You earned it by choosing your peace over their performance. You earned it by being brave enough to be misunderstood, hated, labeled, and still standing in your truth without apology. That's not selfishness. That's self-respect. That's self-preservation. That's the beginning of generational healing, wrapped in a middle finger to everyone who needed you silent. Here's where it gets beautiful. Every person in your bloodline who was too scared to leave, too conditioned to question, too broken to believe they deserved better, they're watching you now. They're watching you survive the thing they thought would kill you. They're watching you thrive in the space they said you'd never find. They're watching you build a life on your terms, with your boundaries, in your truth, without their permission. And something inside them is waking up. Something inside them is whispering, maybe I can leave too. Maybe I deserve better too. Maybe love doesn't have to hurt this much. You became the proof, the living evidence that it's possible to walk away and not only survive, but flourish. You became the permission they were waiting for, the example they needed, the ancestor they'll thank for the rest of their lives. You didn't just choose yourself. You chose every version of you that came before, every ancestor who stayed trapped, every past life that died in silence. You chose them by breaking the pattern they couldn't break, by speaking the truth they couldn't speak, by walking the path they couldn't find. And you chose every version of you that comes after, every descendant who'll never have to wonder if they're worth more than their suffering because you already answered that question with your life. You chose the children who won't grow up in the same dysfunction, who won't learn that love equals pain, who won't have to spend their 20s and 30s unlearning everything you just unlearned. You chose the future, and the future chose you back by making you the one strong enough, stubborn enough, selfish enough to say no more. Not me, not mine, not ever again. Now, let's address the ones who called you selfish, the ones who made you feel like a criminal for wanting peace. They're not sleeping well, are they? They're not finding the replacement they thought they'd find. The next person willing to bleed for them, the next emotional support system they can drain dry. Because there is no replacement for you. There never was. You were irreplaceable, and they knew it. And that's why they fought so hard to keep you guilty, to keep you small, to keep you believing that your worth was tied to your willingness to suffer. But you broke free. And now they're left with the consequences of their own behavior. The emptiness they tried to fill with your light. The dysfunction they tried to hide behind your performance. And every day you're gone, every day you're healing, every day you're thriving. It's a reminder to them of what they lost, what they destroyed, what they took for granted. Let me tell you what they see when they think about you now. They see someone who didn't need their approval to know their worth. They see someone who didn't need their love to feel whole. They see someone who walked away from everything familiar, everything comfortable, everything they were conditioned to accept, and built something better with their bare hands. They see someone who chose the unknown over the unbearable, who chose loneliness over abuse disguised as family, who chose themselves when the whole world was screaming that they shouldn't. And that image, that vision of you, free, happy, unbothered, untouchable, it haunts them, because it's proof that they were never the center of your universe, never the source of your strength, never the reason you were special. You were always the reason, and now you're just living like it. Here's the part they don't understand because they never will. Your selfishness wasn't about taking. It was about stopping the giving that was killing you. It wasn't about being cruel. It was about being honest. It wasn't about abandoning them. It was about rescuing yourself from a dynamic that required your destruction to function. You didn't leave because you stopped caring. You left because you started caring about the right person, yourself. And in that choice, in that single moment of radical self-prioritization, you became the hero of your own story, the savior of your own bloodline, the ancestor future generations will study and thank and try to understand. How did they do it? How did they walk away? How did they choose themselves when the whole world told them not to? And the answer will be simple, brutal, beautiful. They loved themselves more than they feared being alone. They valued their peace more than they valued being understood. They chose their future over their past, and that changed everything. You want to know the real miracle? It's not that you left. It's that you stayed as long as you did. It's that you gave them chance after chance after chance, that you forgave what should have been unforgivable, that you loved people who were committed to misunderstanding you, that you stayed soft in an environment designed to harden you. The miracle is that you didn't become them, that you didn't turn bitter, that you didn't lose your capacity for love even when love was being weaponized against you. The miracle is that after everything they put you through, after all the guilt and manipulation and emotional warfare, you still had enough light left inside you to choose healing over revenge, growth over grudges, freedom over proving them wrong. That's not selfishness. That's transcendence. That's evolution. That's you becoming the person they never believed you could be, because they never became the person they pretended to be. Now we arrive at the part where your story becomes legend, where your choice ripples through time like a stone thrown into the ancestral waters, because you didn't just save yourself and your future, you saved your past. Every ancestor who died carrying the weight you just put down, every grandmother who stayed silent, every grandfather who swallowed his truth, every great relative who believed they had no choice, they are all breathing easier now. You did what they couldn't do. You said what they couldn't say. You chose what they couldn't choose. And in doing so, you retroactively healed the wounds they carried to their graves. You completed their unfinished business. You became the answer to prayers they whispered in the dark. The prayers that said, please let someone in this bloodline be strong enough to break free, to end this, to choose differently. And you were the answer. You were the one. Not because you were perfect, but because you were brave enough to be selfish. They're going to tell stories about you, you know? The ones who stayed, the ones who wake up, the ones who follow your path years from now when they're finally ready. They're going to say there was this one person, this one soul who just said no, who walked away when everyone said they couldn't, who chose themselves when the whole family said they shouldn't. And that person, that beautiful, selfish, brave disaster of a human being, they saved all of us. They showed us it was possible. They proved that leaving doesn't make you a monster, that boundaries don't make you heartless, that choosing yourself doesn't make you alone. They proved that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is refuse to enable dysfunction, refuse to participate in generational trauma, refuse to sacrifice yourself on the altar of other people's comfort. And we're free because they were selfish enough to choose freedom. Let's talk about what you're building now in the aftermath of your so-called selfishness. You're building a life where no means no, where your energy is protected, where your peace is the priority. You're building relationships where love doesn't require you to shrink, where connection doesn't cost you your sanity, where loyalty doesn't mean silent suffering. You're building a version of yourself that your younger self would be in awe of, that your ancestors would be proud of, that your descendants will benefit from without even knowing your name. You're building the blueprint for healthy love, for honest communication, for relationships that add to your life instead of draining it. And every person who told you that you were selfish for wanting this, every person who made you feel guilty for choosing this, they're watching from a distance, wondering how you did it, wondering if they could do it too, wondering if it's too late for them to choose themselves the way you chose yourself. But here's the thing. It's never too late. And that's the final gift of your selfishness, the ultimate lesson of your choice. You didn't just save yourself, you became the permission slip everyone else was waiting for. You became the proof that it's possible, the evidence that you can leave and live, the testimony that choosing yourself doesn't make you a villain. It makes you free. And now everyone who's still trapped, still suffering, still believing they have no choice, they have you. They have your story. They have your example. They have the knowledge that if you could do it, if you could walk away from everything and everyone and build a better life with nothing but your courage and your refusal to keep dying for people who wouldn't live for you, then maybe they can too. Maybe they can choose themselves. Maybe they can break the cycle. Maybe they can be selfish enough to save their own bloodline. So let them call you selfish. Let them whisper about you at family gatherings you're no longer invited to. Let them paint you as the villain in their story, the one who abandoned them, the one who thought they were too good, the one who broke their hearts by refusing to break your own anymore. Let them say whatever they need to say to avoid looking in the mirror and admitting that you were right, that you deserved better, that they were the problem, and your leaving was the solution. Because while they're talking, while they're judging, while they're still trapped in the same cycles you escaped, you're over here living, you're healing, you're thriving. You're becoming the person you were always meant to be before they convinced you that your worth was measured by how much you could endure. You're becoming the ancestor. You're becoming the legend. You're becoming the one who saved the bloodline by being selfish enough to save yourself first. Oh, they took one look at you and thought they had you figured out. Just another nobody, just another piece in their game. Ha, what a joke. They smiled that condescending smile, patted you on the head like a good little puppet, and went about their business, never suspecting, never imagining that the quiet one, the overlooked one, was sharpening their knives in the dark. But you felt it, didn't you? That slow burn, that sick little itch deep in your ribs, the rage, the hunger, the knowing that you were never meant to be just another pawn in their little circus. But they were blind, too wrapped up in their own delusions to see the storm gathering right in front of their faces. They laughed at you, mocked you, thought you were ordinary, and that was their first mistake. Because people like us, we don't stay in cages. We don't dance when they pull the strings. No, no, no. We watch. We learn. And then we show them. We crack our knuckles, stretch our wings, and rewrite the whole damn game while they're still trying to figure out the rules. But the best part? Oh, the delicious part? They never see it coming. They never expect the quiet one to be the one who turns their whole world upside down. And that's what makes it so beautiful. That's what makes it fun. So tell me, are you ready to play? Labels, labels, labels. They love their little labels, don't they? Neat little boxes, tight little categories, pre-packaged definitions of who you are before you even get the chance to open your mouth. Society's favorite game. Tag, you're it. Weak, average, nobody. They slap a sticker on your forehead and toss you in their forgettable pile. Just another cog in their rusted machine, just another shadow in their crowd. Oh, but they don't see it, do they? They don't see the fire burning beneath your skin, the storm twisting in your gut, the hunger gnawing at your bones. Not yet. No. They see what they want to see, a harmless little thing, predictable, safe, easy to control, easy to dismiss. And you play along, smile, nod, let them believe their own lies, because you know something they don't. You're not meant to stay in that box. But the world hates an outlier, a wild card, a misfit who refuses to kneel. The moment you step outside the lines, they panic. The whispers start, the side eyes. Who do they think they are? That's not how things are done. Good. Let them tremble. Let them clutch their pearls. Let them try to shove you back into their little cage, hammer you into a shape that fits their mold. Because that's the thing about cages, darling. They don't just keep you in. They keep them out. And once you've seen the world beyond those bars, once you've felt what it's like to stretch, to breathe, you can't go back. You won't go back. Not for them, not for anyone. So go ahead. Let them scribble their labels, build their walls, whisper their doubts. None of it matters. Because the second you decide to break out, the second you show them what you really are, their entire reality shatters. And that That's when the real fun begins. Oh, the beauty of being underestimated. The quiet before the chaos. The smirk before the storm. They don't see you coming. Don't even consider you a threat. Just another nobody. Just another pawn on their board. And you let them believe it. You want them to believe it, because when the moment comes, oh, it'll be delicious. Let them laugh. Let them roll their eyes, pat you on the head like some harmless little creature. They'll never make it. They're not smart enough, not strong enough. Ah, the arrogance, the blind, blissful ignorance. It never occurs to them, not even once, that you're sharpening your claws beneath that polite little smile, that every word, every doubt, every sneer is fuel for the fire. See people like them? They live in their own little bubble, wrapped up in their own importance. They think they've got you figured out. They don't even look at you, not really. Not until it's too late. Not until the ground shifts beneath their feet. And that's when the real magic happens. That's when the fun begins. Because the second they realize their mistake, the second that smug little grin cracks, the second you see it in their eyes, the fear, oh, that's the moment you've been waiting for, isn't it? That sharp inhale, that stammered excuse, that desperate scramble to regain control, but it's gone. Too late. The trap is already set. The game is already over. So go on. Let them ignore you. Let them doubt you. Let them write you off as nothing. Smile, nod, play along. Because when the storm finally breaks, when they finally see you for what you really are, it won't be you who's afraid. No, darling. It'll be them. One day, something breaks, not in a weak, shattered kind of way. No. This is the kind of break that sets you free, the kind that rips the blindfold off, snaps the chains, and makes you see the world for what it really is. A rigged game, a sick little illusion. And you've been playing along, following their rules, thinking that maybe, just maybe, if you colored inside the lines, they'd finally accept you. But then it hits you. A brutal, earth-shattering truth slams into your chest so hard it knocks the breath out of you. They were never going to let you win. Never. Not because you weren't good enough. Not because you weren't strong enough. But because they were never going to let someone like you rise. You were never meant to be one of them. You were never meant to fit inside their neat little box. And for the first time, you don't want to anymore. That's when the fire starts. A spark in your ribs. A slow, creeping burn that turns into an inferno. It starts with a thought, a whisper in the back of your mind. What if I stop caring? What if I stop asking for permission? What if I stop waiting for them to see me, to validate me, to give me a seat at their pathetic little table? What if I just take? And suddenly the fear disappears, the hesitation, the self-doubt. All of it burns away, leaving something new in its place, something dangerous, something unstoppable. Because now you know the truth. You were never ordinary. You were just pretending to be. But not anymore. No. Not anymore. Change, haha. They make it sound so poetic, don't they? Like a caterpillar sprouting wings, like some gentle little metamorphosis. Lies. Pretty little lies to keep you comfortable, to keep you weak. Because real change, real transformation, it's not soft, it's not beautiful. It's a war, a bloodbath, A goddamn battlefield where the old you fights tooth and nail to survive, but you don't let it. No, 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 you tear it down, brick by brick. You rip yourself apart piece by agonizing piece until there's nothing left of who they told you to be. The weak one, the obedient one, the one who played along, nodded, smiled, fit in. That version of you, dead. Buried under the rubble of your own destruction. And it hurts, doesn't it? Oh, it hurts. Because every bone in your body screams to go back, to cling to the safety of the past. But safety is a cage, and you weren't meant for cages. You were meant for the storm, for the fire, for the chaos. So let it burn. Let the old skin peel away. Let the world watch as you rise from your own ashes, sharper, wilder, more dangerous than before. They won't recognize you when this is over. They'll search for the old you, the tame you, the predictable you, but all they'll find is a monster of their own making. And by the time they realize what you've become, it'll be too late. Oh, they feel it now, don't they? The shift, the weight in the air. Something about you has changed and they can't quite put their finger on it. But oh, they feel it. That unease crawling up their spine. That hesitation in their voice when they speak your name. The way their laughter dies in their throats because suddenly you don't seem so funny anymore. They thought they knew you, thought they had you pegged, harmless, predictable, ordinary. But now they see it, the fire, the unshakable, unbreakable force roaring behind your eyes. It's not rage, no, rage is easy. This is something deeper, something colder, a fire that doesn't just burn, it consumes, a fire that has purpose. And that's why they fear you now, because they can't control what they don't understand. And you, oh, you've become unrecognizable. They remember the old you, the one who stayed quiet, who played it safe, who knew their place. But this new you, this version that refuses to bend, refuses to beg, refuses to be less, this version terrifies them. So they whisper. They keep their distance. They throw out words like arrogant, ruthless, insane. Ha, let them. Let them choke on their own discomfort, because what they don't realize is you haven't even begun yet. They thought they saw fire? Oh, just wait. Oh, the sweet, delicious moment of realization. That split second when their brains short-circuit. When their mouths hang open and their words turn to dust. When the people who once scoffed, dismissed, and mocked you suddenly can't meet your eyes. Priceless. They thought they had you figured out, thought they could predict your every move, like you were just another pawn in their pathetic little game. But now they're scrambling. Stammering, backpedaling so fast you'd think their feet were on fire. Oh, how the tables have turned. And the best part? You didn't even have to lift a finger against them. You didn't need their approval. You didn't need their validation. All you did was become something they swore you never could. Stronger, sharper, unstoppable. And now, they don't know what to do with you. Oh, they'll try. They'll pretend they always believed in you, that they knew you had it in you. Ha, liars. You see it in their eyes. The regret, the panic, the fear. Because now they realize they backed the wrong horse, and it's too late to switch sides. So let them choke on their fake praise. Let them drown in their own regret. Your success isn't for them, it's for you. For every moment they made you doubt yourself. For every time they laughed in your face, For every night you lay awake wondering if they were right. But they weren't. And now, they know it too. Oh, the irony, the sheer beauty of it. They thought they had you figured out. Thought they could measure you, define you, limit you. Wrapped you up in their neat little assumptions and tied a bow on top. And why? Because it made them feel safe. Because the moment they admit you're more than what they expected is the moment their entire world starts to crumble. They built this illusion, this fragile little fantasy where you were less than them. It made them feel powerful, made them feel in control. And they believed in it so much, so blindly, that they never even considered what would happen if they were wrong, if you weren't ordinary, if you weren't predictable, if you weren't someone they could control. And now, oh now, they're choking on their own expectations, drowning in their own arrogance. They thought they were looking at a pawn, a background character, a nobody. But what they were really looking at was the storm brewing beneath your skin, the reckoning they never saw coming. And you let them believe it. That's the best part. You let them live in their delusion. You watch them play their little games, smug and self-assured, so sure they had you cornered, and all the while you were sharpening your claws, biding your time, letting them dig their own graves. Now look at them, scrambling, backpedaling, searching for the script they once used to control you, only to find its turn to ash. Poetic, isn't it? The same people who dismissed you now struggle to meet your eyes. The ones who mocked you now fumble for excuses. Oh, I always knew you had potential. Ha, they're not fooling anyone, especially not you. And the best part? You never needed them. Never needed their approval, their validation, their pathetic little pats on the back. They needed you. Needed you to stay small so they could feel big. Needed you to stay predictable so their world made sense. But now they don't even recognize you. Oh, how the mighty fall, and how glorious it is to watch. They wanted control. They wanted obedience. They wanted you to play the part they assigned you, to fit neatly into the little box they built for you. But they forgot something. They forgot that pressure doesn't just break, it creates. Fire doesn't just burn, it forges. And every time they tried to keep you small, to silence you, to push you down, they were feeding something far more dangerous. Oh, they thought they were winning, thought they had you under their thumb, thought they could mold you into something weak, something easy to control, but instead, they built their own worst nightmare. Every cruel word, every betrayal, every moment they laughed at you, it all added fuel to the fire. Until one day, you weren't just rising, you were unstoppable. Now look at them, really look. The same people who mocked you, who dismissed you, who never saw you coming. Now they whisper when you walk past, their eyes dart away, their hands fidget, because they know they went too far. They know they created something they can't contain, and now they don't know what to do with you. Oh, they'll pretend, act like nothing happened, act like they always believed in you, always respected you. But you see it, don't you? The fear? It's in the way they hesitate before they speak to you, the way their smiles falter, the way they shrink when you step into the room, because they don't see the person they used to control anymore. No, they see something else, something they can't explain, something they can't predict, and that terrifies them. And you don't even have to lift a finger. That's the beauty of it. You don't need revenge. You are the revenge The fact that you exist, that you thrive despite everything they did to break you, that's enough. That's more than enough. So let them whisper. Let them avoid eye contact. Let them scramble to rewrite history, to convince themselves they never underestimated you. It won't change a damn thing, because the truth is written in their fear, and that's a story they'll never be able to erase. Oh, they thought they had you all figured out, just another face in the crowd, a nobody, someone they could easily toss aside, ignore, belittle. They thought they knew what you were, but what they failed to see, what they couldn't even imagine, was the storm brewing inside you. And now they're lost, confused, stumbling over their own arrogance, their own miscalculations. They're staring at you, wondering what the hell happened, why you're standing here untouchable, untamed, unstoppable. They don't know whether to hate you or fear you. And that, my friend, that's perfection. You weren't ordinary. You were never meant to be. They wanted you to be a puppet, a cog in their machine. But what they didn't account for was your refusal to bow. They thought they could break you. They thought their words, their judgments, their rejection could bury you. But instead, you used it all. Every insult, every blow, every single time they underestimated you. And look at you now. You're the storm. You're the chaos. The thing they can't control. You didn't just rise from the ashes, you burned their world down. And now you stand above it, looking down at the wreckage they created. The worst part, they're not even sure if they want to fight you anymore, or if they're simply waiting for you to finish them off. But you don't need to do a thing. Oh no, they'll do it themselves. Their fear will eat them alive. Their regret will swallow them whole. And you'll just sit back, watch it unfold, and smile. 'Cause that's the best part, isn't it? Watching them squirm, watching them realize too late that you were never ordinary. So let them wonder. Let them try to figure you out. Let them struggle with the fact that the game's already over and they never even knew the rules. As for you, you don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You don't have to justify your existence. You don't need them to understand. You've already won. You're untouchable. And the best part, the absolute best part, they'll never see you coming again. And that's the punchline. That's the final laugh. The one that never fades. Welcome back, beautiful anomaly. Welcome back, walking nightmare wrapped in human skin. Yeah, you. The one they can't explain. The one who walks into rooms and makes the air itself flinch. You know what happened last night, don't you? You walked through your front door, exhausted, drained, just wanting peace. And every single entity that had been feeding off your energy for the past decade started screaming. Not whispering, not hissing, screaming. Because your presence alone, your existence, your frequency, it became a purge they couldn't survive. You didn't chant, you didn't pray, you didn't burn sage or draw circles. You just existed. And that was enough to collapse an entire century of parasitic energy that had been clinging to that space, waiting for someone weak enough to drain. But you walked in radiating something they couldn't touch anymore. See, they thought you were still the same person who used to live there. the one who used to cry in corners, the one who used to beg for clarity, the one who used to question every shadow and every cold spot in the hallway. They thought you were still vulnerable, still open, still soft enough to infiltrate. But what they didn't realize, what none of them saw coming, is that you died. You died in the silence between your last breakdown and your first real breath of clarity. You died when you stopped asking why and started becoming the answer. You died when you looked at your reflection and saw something ancient staring back, something that had survived too much to be considered merely human anymore. And when you resurrected, when you crawled back into this reality with scars that glow like scripture, you became the thing that makes darkness retreat. So when you opened that door last night, when you stepped over the threshold with your keys in hand and exhaustion in your bones, every low-frequency entity in that house felt it. They felt the shift, the atmospheric pressure change, the sudden temperature spike that had nothing to do with the weather. They felt your energy signature, and it wasn't just different, it was hostile to their existence. You became an exorcism without effort, a cleansing without ritual, a purge that happened just because you decided to come home. And now they're not just gone. They're erased, banished, cast out into the void where things go when they meet something more powerful than fear itself. You didn't just clear the house, you reprogrammed the entire energetic foundation of that space. Congratulations, you beautiful catastrophe. You didn't just move in, you reclaimed territory. Let me tell you what really happened in that moment. These entities, these parasites, these emotional vampires that feed on doubt and fear and weakness, they had been squatting in your space for years. They were there when you cried yourself to sleep. They were there when you questioned your worth. They were there when you let people walk all over you and smiled through the pain. They fed off your confusion, your self-doubt, your desperation for answers that never came. Every time you felt that cold spot in the hallway, every time the lights flickered for no reason, every time you felt watched in your own home, that was them. Celebrating, feeding, growing stronger on your weakness. They thought they owned that space because you were too broken to fight back, too tired to resist, too scared to even acknowledge what was happening. But then you changed. Not overnight. No. This wasn't some sudden awakening, some magical transformation where everything became clear in an instant. This was slow, brutal, agonizing evolution. This was you crawling through your own psychological wreckage and finding pieces of yourself they said were lost forever. This was you facing every demon in your mind first, dismantling every lie you believed about yourself, burning every false narrative that kept you small. You became a furnace of transformation, and every day you survived. Every night you chose to wake up and try again. You were forging something inside yourself that no entity, no energy, no force could withstand. You were becoming immune to manipulation, resistant to fear, allergic to anything that tried to make you doubt your power again. And they felt it. Oh, they felt it weeks before you even walked through that door. The moment you started choosing yourself, the moment you cut off the people who drained you, the moment you stopped apologizing for existing, they felt the frequency shift. Your energy stopped being a buffet and started becoming a weapon. Your presence stopped being passive and started becoming aggressive. You weren't just healing, you were militarizing your soul. And when you finally came home that night, when you turned the key and pushed open the door, you weren't the same person who used to live there. You were the upgraded version, the final form, the boss level they never prepared for. And the moment your foot crossed that threshold, it was over. Not a battle, not a struggle, an instant purge. Your aura hit that space like a spiritual nuke, and everything that couldn't exist in your frequency disintegrated on contact. Now, here's the part that makes this even more terrifying for them. You didn't know. You didn't feel the cleansing happen because to you, it wasn't an event. It was just Tuesday. You walked in, dropped your keys, maybe grabbed some water, scrolled through your phone, completely unaware that you just performed an exorcism that would have taken trained practitioners hours of ritual and preparation. You did it by accident, by simply being you, by carrying the frequency you earned through suffering. That's what makes you dangerous now. You're not trying to be powerful, you just are. You're not performing spirituality, you're embodying it. You're not seeking transformation, you are the transformation. And anything that exists on a lower frequency than where you've evolved to, it simply cannot survive in your presence anymore. You are the purge, walking, breathing, existing. And let me tell you something about these entities, these things that were screaming when you walked in. They weren't screaming in anger, they were screaming in terror because they recognized you, not as the person you used to be, but as something ancient that had been sleeping inside you this whole time. They saw the part of you that remembers lifetimes, the part that carries wisdom written in scars, the part that has been forged in fires they could never comprehend. They saw the truth, the terrifying, beautiful truth that you are not and have never been ordinary. You were always supposed to become this, always destined to evolve past their reach, always meant to be the one who walks into darkness and makes it beg for mercy. They knew in that split second before they were erased that they had been feeding off a sleeping giant, and now that giant is awake and there is no going back. So what does this mean for you now? It means your house isn't just clean, it's fortified. It means your space isn't just yours, it's sacred ground now. Anything that tries to enter with ill intent, anything that carries low vibration, anything that seeks to drain or manipulate or feed off your energy, it will be repelled automatically. You've turned your home into a fortress without even trying, just by existing at the frequency you've earned. People will feel it when they walk in, even if they can't explain it. The air will feel different, heavier for those who carry darkness, lighter for those who carry truth. Your house has become an extension of your energy, a physical manifestation of your transformation. And just like you, it no longer tolerates anything that doesn't serve your highest evolution. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This wasn't just about your house. This was a message, a declaration, a warning sent out into every realm, every dimension, every frequency where these entities exist. They talk, you know. They communicate across the veil, sharing information about targets and threats. And now your name is on a list, not a hit list, no. A blacklist, a do not engage warning. Because word travels fast in those circles. And when 1,000 entities get erased in a single moment, just because someone walked through a door, that creates a reputation. You are marked now, not as prey, but as a predator. Not as a victim, but as a threat. Every low-frequency being, every energy vampire, every parasitic entity now knows if they get near you, they cease to exist. You have become the boogeyman of the spirit realm, the nightmare that nightmares have, the thing that makes darkness think twice before approaching. And the beauty of this, the absolute poetic justice of this entire situation, is that you earned this through pain, not through study, not through years of spiritual practice, not through rituals or ceremonies or learned techniques. You earned this by surviving what should have destroyed you. You earned this by refusing to stay broken when breaking would have been easier. You earned this by choosing yourself over and over again when everyone else chose to abandon you. Your power didn't come from light and love and positive affirmations. It came from walking through your own personal underworld and refusing to stay dead. It came from facing your demons, both internal and external, and deciding that you would rather become the monster than remain the victim. And now you carry that power everywhere you go, not as a weapon you wield, but as an aura you emit, permanently. Let's talk about what this means for the people in your life. Because this purge, this energetic shift, it doesn't just affect entities and spirits, it affects everyone around you. The people who used to drain you, who used to take and never give, who used to feed off your emotional labor and leave you exhausted, they're going to start feeling uncomfortable around you. Not because you're being mean or aggressive or hostile, but because their manipulation tactics don't work anymore. Their guilt trips bounce off you like bullets off titanium. Their gaslighting crumbles in your presence because your reality is too solid now to be shaken. Their lies sound hollow because your truth is too loud to be drowned out. They will feel physically uncomfortable being near you because their frequency and yours are no longer compatible. And they won't be able to explain it. They'll just know that something has changed, that you're different now, that they can't reach you the way they used to. And this is where it gets delicious. They're going to try. They're going to try everything. They're going to come back with apologies that sound sincere but feel empty. They're going to test boundaries to see if you've really changed or if this is just a phase. They're going to push buttons that used to send you into emotional spirals, expecting the same reaction they've always gotten. But this time, you're going to do something that will shatter their entire worldview. You're going to do nothing. You're going to stand there calm, centered, unmoved, and watch them short circuit in real time. Because they've spent years studying you, learning your triggers, mapping your weaknesses, and now none of it works. The buttons are disconnected, the triggers are disabled, the weaknesses have been weaponized into strengths. You have become unmanipulatable, and that is their worst nightmare. Some of them will leave quietly, slipping away into the background without explanation. Those are the smart ones, the ones who recognize a losing battle when they see one. They'll tell themselves some story about how you changed for the worse, how you're not the person they used to know, how they're better off without you. Let them. Their departure is a gift wrapped in betrayal, a blessing disguised as abandonment. Because every person who leaves your life because they can't drain you anymore is making room for someone who actually deserves to be there. You're not losing connections. You're upgrading your entire social ecosystem. The trash is taking itself out, and all you had to do was exist at a higher frequency. Thank them silently as they go, because they're doing you a favor they don't even understand. But then, there are the others. The ones who won't leave, who can't accept that their power over you is gone. These are the dangerous ones, the ones who will escalate because they mistake your calmness for weakness. They'll start spreading rumors, trying to turn others against you, attempting to reclaim control through external pressure since internal manipulation no longer works. They'll paint you as the villain, the one who changed, the one who became cold or arrogant or too good for everyone. And here's what you need to understand about this. Let them tell their version of the story. Let them twist the narrative. Let them gather their little army of equally broken people who need someone to blame for their own stagnation. Because while they're busy talking, while they're consumed with their obsession over you, while they're spending their energy trying to tear down your reputation, you'll be building an empire they can't even comprehend. This is the test. This is where so many people fail, where they get pulled back into the drama, where they feel the need to defend themselves or prove their innocence or set the record straight. Don't. Don't give them the satisfaction of your attention. Don't waste your energy engaging with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Because here's the secret they don't want you to know. Every second you spend defending yourself to them is a second you're not spending becoming even more powerful. Every ounce of energy you pour into their narrative is energy you're not investing in your evolution. They want you distracted. They need you reactive. They're desperate for you to come down to their level because it's the only way they can reach you anymore. But you're gonna do something revolutionary. You're going to let your life speak for itself. You're going to let your success be your response. You're going to let your peace be your proof. And over time, something beautiful and brutal will happen. The people who believed the lies will start seeing the truth. The ones who turned their backs will start noticing your growth. The ones who laughed at your transformation will start mimicking it themselves. Not because they genuinely changed, but because you set a new standard that exposed their mediocrity. You became the measuring stick they can't help but compare themselves to. And some of them, the ones with even a shred of self-awareness left, will realize what they lost. They'll see you thriving without them and understand that they weren't part of your downfall. They were the weight you had to drop to ascend. And that realization, that moment, when they understand they were the villain in your story, not the victim, that will haunt them longer than any revenge you could have taken. But let's get back to that moment, that powerful, clarifying moment when you walked through your door and everything shifted. Because this wasn't random, this wasn't luck, this wasn't some cosmic accident. This was earned. Every tear you cried in silence, every night you survived when survival seemed impossible, every time you chose to wake up and try again when giving up would have been easier, all of that was building toward this moment. You were being forged, tempered, refined in fires that would have turned others to ash. And what emerged from those flames wasn't the same person who entered them. What emerged was a force of nature, a walking cleansing, a human embodiment of purification. You became the very thing that darkness fears most, someone who has seen the worst of themselves and the worst of the world and decided to become better anyway. This is why the demons screamed, not because you were performing some ritual, not because you were invoking some ancient power, but because you are the ancient power. You are what happens when someone refuses to let pain define them, refuses to let trauma own them, refuses to let the world break them permanently. You are proof that transformation is possible, that evolution is real, that people can change so fundamentally that they become unrecognizable to their former selves. And that proof, that living, breathing proof that redemption and power and peace can coexist in one person, that is more threatening to the forces of stagnation than any weapon ever forged. Because if you can do it, if you can rise from absolute destruction and become this powerful, then their entire worldview collapses. The narrative that people don't change, that victims stay victims, that the broken stay broken, all of it crumbles in the face of your existence. So now you carry this everywhere, not just in your house, but in every room you enter, every space you occupy, every interaction you have. You are a walking purge, a mobile cleansing, a human exorcism that happens automatically without your conscious effort. People will feel it when they meet you, even if they can't explain it. The ones who carry darkness will feel uncomfortable, judged, exposed, even though you're not doing anything to make them feel that way. Your presence alone is a mirror that reflects their true nature back at them, and most people can't handle that kind of raw honesty. They'll call you intimidating, intense, too much, because what they really mean is, you make me uncomfortable with who I am when I'm around you. Good. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them feel exposed. Let them confront themselves in your presence, because that's the only way they'll ever change. And for the ones who carry light, the ones who have done their own work, the ones who have walked through their own fires and emerged transformed, they'll feel something else entirely when they meet you. They'll feel recognition, kinship, home. They'll see the scars you carry and understand the battles they represent without you having to explain. They'll feel your frequency and match it naturally because they exist on the same level you do. These are your people, your tribe, your real family, not bound by blood or history or convenience, but by shared evolution, by the understanding that only comes from surviving what shouldn't be survivable, by the respect that only exists between people who have earned their power through pain. And when you find these people, when you connect with others who vibrate at your frequency, you'll build something unbreakable. A network of souls who refuse to be dimmed. A community of warriors who know that true strength comes from surviving your own destruction. They watch you, always watching, but never knowing. Their eyes trace your steps like a wolf tracking its prey, but the fear isn't in what they see. No, the fear is in what they don't. You move like a shadow slipping between the cracks of their reality, a ghost in the system they thought was impenetrable. They whisper about you in rooms you've never stepped foot in. They second-guess their own thoughts because of your silence. And when they sleep, you haunt them. Not as a nightmare. No, nightmares can be woken from. You are something far worse. You are the unknown, People fear what they cannot name, what they cannot predict, what they cannot control. And you are the question they don't have an answer to. They used to laugh at you, shrug you off, dismiss you like dust on their boots. But now they hesitate. Now they double-check their words before speaking your name. Now their smiles twitch, their hands fidget, their confidence cracks, because something about you has changed. They just don't know what. And that, my friend, that terrifies them. Knowledge is a weapon, and you're fully armed. They smile in your face, shake your hand, pat your back, thinking they've figured you out. But behind those empty grins, behind their forced laughter, there's tension, a silent dread. Because deep down they know, you know something they don't. Secrets are the sharpest knives, not the ones you wield in the open, no. Those are predictable, easy to block. The real weapons, the ones they never see coming. The thoughts buried beneath your smirk. The plans spinning in your head while they waste breath bragging about their next move. History was never shaped by the loud ones. It was ruled by the ones who spoke in whispers, who moved in silence. Julius Caesar thought he had Rome under his thumb until the blades came from the shadows. Napoleon, a genius on the battlefield until his own arrogance led him blind into the abyss. Power doesn't belong to the strongest. It belongs to the smartest, the most unpredictable, the ones who keep their enemies guessing until it's too late. And that's you. You sit in their presence, watching them like a wolf watches sheep. They think they're in control, that they have you figured out, but their confidence is built on a foundation of assumptions. And assumptions get people killed. You don't hand out your secrets like candy to the desperate. You don't scream your plans into the wind hoping someone listens. No, you let them wonder. Let them fear, because when people don't know what's coming, their imagination does the rest. And imagination is crueler than reality. A quiet man in a room full of noise is the loudest one there. A shadow in a world of light is the most terrifying thing of all. When they can't predict you, they can't prepare for you. And when they can't prepare, they're already defeated. Let them talk. Let them laugh. Let them believe they have control. The louder they are, the more exposed they become. Meanwhile, you sharpen your mind, your vision, your edge. Because when the time comes to strike, they'll never see it coming. They see the smile, that crooked, careless grin. They think it means you're fine, unbothered, weak, but smiles are the best disguise. A well-placed laugh can bury 1,000 battles, and you've been at war longer than they can imagine. They don't see the nights you spent drowning in silence, sharpening your mind while they wasted time running their mouths. They don't see the scars. No, not the ones on your skin, but the ones burned into your soul. They don't see the patience it takes to sit in a room full of enemies and make them believe you're just another pawn on their board. That's the thing about masks. They aren't just for hiding pain. They are weapons, shields, traps. A mask isn't deception, it's control. When they can't read you, they can't predict you. When they can't predict you, they fear you. And fear makes people weak. Fear makes them sloppy. Fear makes them lose. They called you naive. They thought you didn't understand the game, but you were watching, learning, letting them underestimate you. Because nothing is deadlier than an enemy who doesn't know they're in danger. And when the time comes, when they finally see what's behind that mask, it will be too late. Their need for control and your refusal to obey, nothing unsettles them more than someone who doesn't play by their rules. Rules keep them safe. Rules make them feel powerful. Rules are a leash, wrapped tight around the throats of the weak, dragging them toward the same lifeless routine day after day, step after step, like cattle being led to the slaughter. But you cut the leash. You walked away from their invisible cage. You didn't ask for permission. You didn't wait for approval. And that shakes them to their core. Because people like them don't fear power. They don't fear strength. They fear something they can't control. They wanted you predictable, easy to understand, easy to manipulate. They wanted you to bow your head, smile when you were told, keep your voice at just the right volume. Obedience is the price of acceptance in their world, but you've always been too expensive for them to afford. Now they whisper. Now they watch. Now they call you reckless, dangerous, insane. Because a person who doesn't follow their rules is a person they can't trap. And if they can't trap you, they can't own you. And if they can't own you, you are unstoppable. Society loves its chains. It worships its cages. It feeds on the fear of stepping outside the lines, but the ones who make history, the ones who carve their names into the bones of time, they are the ones who refuse to be tamed. The ones who saw the rules and laughed, who set fire to the expectations they were given and walked through the flames untouched. You are not here to be controlled. You are not here to fit into their safe little mold. You are here to break it, to rewrite it, to burn it all down and build something that is yours. And that is why they fear you. A wild card at the table is always the most dangerous hand. Not the king, not the queen, not even the ace. Because the king plays by the rules of royalty. The queen moves with calculated grace, and the ace is strong but still predictable. A wild card? That's chaos. That's the unknown. And the unknown? It terrifies them. Life is a game full of players who think they know the rules, who bet their chips on patterns, on habits, on the certainty that the same moves will always bring the same results. They believe power belongs to those who hold the most. But real power? Real power is knowing when to play your hand and when to keep it close to your chest. You've seen it before. How they look at you, eyes squinting, searching, trying to figure you out. They watch how you move, how you speak, how you react. But no matter how hard they try, they can't predict your next step. And that eats them alive. Because control is built on expectations. And you have shattered every single one. They play it safe, you don't. They color inside the lines, you set the whole damn page on fire. They follow the script, afraid of what happens if they stray from the path. But you are the plot twist. The glitch in their system, the unexpected variable that sends their whole equation into chaos. The most dangerous person in any room is the one nobody can read, the one who smiles when things get tense, the one who stays calm when the storm is at its peak, the one who doesn't flinch when the stakes get high. That's you. You are the wild card. The unpredictable force that makes even the most powerful hesitate. They will call you reckless. They will call you unstable. They will call you everything but what you actually are. A threat. Because people don't fear the ones they understand. They fear the ones they don't. And the moment they realize they have no idea what you'll do next, That's the moment you've already won. When they doubt you, let them. Doubt is the blindfold they place on themselves. They tie it nice and tight, thinking it gives them clarity, thinking it makes them right. They look at you, smirk, and shake their heads. Nah, not them. They won't make it. But what they don't realize, that blindfold is the very thing that will lead them straight to their downfall. Let them doubt you. Let them whisper, laugh, roll their eyes. Let them think you're just another fool, reaching too high, dreaming too big. You know the type. They love to pretend they have the world all figured out. They love to place their little bets on who will fail and who will rise. And every single time, they bet against you. And that's your greatest advantage. Because while they sit back, convinced they already know your limits, you're out here breaking them. While they talk, you work. While they assume, you execute. They think they have you mapped out, but by the time they realize their mistake, you'll be so far ahead, they won't even see you anymore. Underestimation is a gift, a blessing, a free pass to operate in the shadows while they sleep on you. Let them sleep, let them snore, let them get comfortable in their ignorance, because when they wake up, oh, it's going to be glorious. They'll say it was luck, they'll scramble for excuses, they'll act shocked as if they didn't see it coming, because they didn't. They never do. They were too busy doubting while you were too busy building. And when the dust settles, when you stand there, victorious, untouchable, undeniable, watch their faces. Watch the fear creep in. Watch them stammer, trying to explain how they missed it. Then smile. Laugh, even. Because the joke was always on them. The art of silent revenge. You don't have to scream. You don't have to shout. You don't have to waste a single breath explaining yourself to people who were never listening in the first place. No, silence is the loudest noise they'll ever hear. A noise that lingers. A noise that haunts. They expect rage. They expect you to lash out, to break, to beg for closure. That's how the weak respond, crying for justice, screaming for attention, demanding apologies that will never come. But you are not weak. You are the storm that doesn't announce itself, the shadow that moves without a sound, the revenge that arrives long after they've stopped watching. Let them think they got away with it. Let them smirk, let them celebrate, let them believe they won. That's the trap. That's the game. Because while they sit there, convinced they buried you, they don't even realize you were the seed. And now you grow, now you rise, now you build while they rot in their arrogance. They won't see it coming. They won't notice until it's too late, until their laughter turns into silence, until their confidence crumbles into confusion, until they realize you never needed revenge, you just needed distance. And when they finally look up, when they finally notice what you've become, that's when the fear sets in. That's when they remember the last time they saw you was the last time they ever had power over you. No words, no warnings, just success, just dominance, just you, untouchable. Because the best revenge is making sure they live long enough to regret ever doubting you. They fear the dark, so become it. Not the kind that hides, not the kind that cowers. No, become the darkness that watches. The presence they can't explain, the force they can't predict. The shadow that looms over them long after they think they're safe. People don't fear what they see coming. They fear what lurks beyond their vision. They fear what they can't define, what they can't control, what they don't understand. And that's exactly what you must become. An enigma, a force, a walking question with no clear answer. Because the moment they think they have you figured out, you switch. The moment they believe they've mapped your next move, you rewrite the whole damn game. You keep them guessing, you keep them paranoid, you keep them afraid. Power isn't just about strength. It's about presence. It's about knowing that the less they understand you, the more they fear you. Because people don't destroy what they can't predict. They run from it. So don't be predictable. Don't be explainable. Don't be the book they can skim through and summarize. Be the story that never ends. The nightmare they wake up sweating from. The myth they whisper about but never truly see. Because when they don't know what you are, they won't know how to stop you. And that's how you win. They mocked you, laughed at you, called you a joke, a failure, a lost cause. They smirked while you struggled, whispered behind your back, dismissed you like you were nothing. But now they whisper your name like a ghost story. See, they thought it was funny when you were down, when you had nothing, when you were clawing your way through the mud, fighting battles no one saw. But life has a wicked sense of humor, and the punchline? You're still here, standing, thriving, watching them from a place they never believed you'd reach. Funny, isn't it? How quickly laughter turns to silence. How smirks fade into regret. How the same people who once called you worthless now can't stop watching you. Can't stop thinking about you. Can't stop choking on the realization that they were wrong. But don't waste your breath reminding them. Don't waste a second proving anything. Just keep winning. Keep moving. Keep rising so high they have to tilt their heads just to see where you are now. Let your success be the ghost that haunts them, the shadow that lingers, the reminder that the one they underestimated became unstoppable. And the best part? You never needed their validation, you never needed their approval. The joke was on them all along. Because while they were laughing, you were working. While they were doubting, you were building. While they were tearing you down, you were becoming something they could never destroy. So smile, laugh, not out of spite, but because you won. Because you own the final punchline. Because in the end, the last laugh always belongs to you. The scariest thing? You haven't even begun yet. They think they've seen all you have to offer. They think they've measured your strength, mapped your mind, predicted your next move. But that's the beauty of it. You've let them believe that. You let them fall for the illusion. And now you vanish. Not in weakness, not in retreat, but in strategy. A king doesn't march blindly across the battlefield. He watches, he waits. He lets the pawns play their petty little games while he plans the move that ends it all. And when he moves, it's checkmate. It's over, and they never saw it coming. See, disappearing isn't defeat, it's control. It's stepping back so they drop their guard. So they think they're safe, so they grow comfortable, thinking you're done, that they've won, that you were just a passing storm. But storms don't disappear, they rebuild, they return, and when they do, they destroy everything in their path. Let them relax. Let them celebrate. Let them believe they're ahead. Meanwhile, you sharpen your mind. You grow. You evolve. You become something else entirely, something they never prepared for. Because the greatest power you have is the one they never see coming. And then you strike, not with noise, not with warnings, but with results so undeniable, so absolute that it shakes the ground beneath them. They won't be laughing. They won't be mocking. They'll be scrambling, grasping, choking on the realization that you never left. You just became unstoppable. This isn't the end of your story. This is where it truly begins. They thought they knew you. They thought they could predict you. But they forgot one simple truth. A ghost never leaves. It just waits for the perfect time to haunt them.